You're listening to Two Chunks and a Hunk. Movie musings for mostly everyone. And welcome to Two Chunks and a Hunk. My name is Jordan Wonders, and this time I'm your hunk.
Ooh. I'm Doge. Ooh. I'm Doge, and you're not allowed up there. That's one of the 7 chunks.
That was so good.
That was very good.
Thank you. I hurt my neck a little bit with the muscles of my neck.
Strained a good bit.
I strained. I had to reach and grasp for the carry.
The gymnast.
I'm Carter. And where am I? What chunk is it? Is The Rock president?
I thought of you when he said that.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, you're just synonymous with Dwayne The Rock Johnson in my brain now.
Because you never know what year it is.
Yeah. The first time that we ever have like, Chunkies, come watch a movie with us, they're going to realize why I love it so much because we have the same neck, same size.
We're the same size tie.
Same size tie. We probably have the same size head, that's for sure. I do have a large cranium.
You got a big head. I have a big head too. I actually think all three of us have pretty large heads.
I think mine's a normal size.
I'm a 7 3/4 boy, if you're talking fitted.
I don't know
y'all
what
wear fitted hats?
No.
Oh, y'all don't wear fitted hats.
What's the best one? That's probably what mine is.
8.
I don't listen to enough Disturbed to wear a fitted hat, unfortunately.
You're not a sports boy enough.
No, I'm wearing a hat right. All mine have this little guy in the back. I do it myself.
The old strap back.
The old dad hat strap back. Jordan, why are you the hunk?
Because I did it.
What'd you
did it. Dude? I did it. I beat Elden Ring.
Wait, for real?
Mm-hmm.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's amazing. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I didn't even know you did that.
Mm-hmm.
What was like your favorite part of what? Dude, what? Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Oh my God. You did that? You beat it?
I beat it. I beat it.
What?
Oh,
what? With
my own 10
I'm happy
fingers.
for you, Jordan.
Who else? Dude, who else knows?
Really more like 4 fingers. It's only a thumb and index type situation if I'm...
Who else
no middle finger
knows?
back there? We don't have a second bumper action?
No.
Who
Just showing
else?
off. I play video games.
Are we the only ones that you've told? Are we the only ones you told about this?
No, I told my real friends.
They know too? What did they say?
Ladies and gentlemen of the Two Chunks audience, this is what jealousy sounds like. This is the sound.
What did they say when you told them?
What
Did they cry? What did they say? What did they say when you told them that you beat it?
When you did say you told your real friends, it sounded plural, but I thought you only had one cat.
Well, Bruce watched, so I didn't have to tell him. Bruce was there supporting me, watching the whole time.
I told
my real friends, my wife and my mom.
I have a genuine question.
I have a genuine answer, probably.
There's a lot of hype, obviously, behind this game. A lot of fanfare, people enjoying it. Did the end satisfy you? Did it feel like a satisfying ending to the game?
Yeah, that's not really what the Souls games do, if I'm being honest. Like,
okay.
It's sort of about, they're more than other games, just kind of about like beating bosses than they are like story beats. So it's not like a satisfying ending.
I don't think I was talking narratively. Mainly.
Oh,
I think I was trying to be like.
The last boss was hard for me.
That's why I made fun of you. That's why I make fun of you, because you couldn't, if you haven't played it, you couldn't possibly understand.
Well, that's not even what I said though, is the thing. That's so interesting that's your impression when that didn't come out of my mouth.
Carter, what a silly question.
You can tell how jealous Doge is. It's taken him roughly 24 months to beat The Last of Us 2.
Dang.
Still hasn't done it. And I beat Elden Ring in a measly month and a half. So I'm like pretty good at video games.
I make fun of you because I like to get you got. And you guys make fun of me. near constantly for being the smartest and the hottest and like the coolest
we make fun
of us.
Way less than you think we do.
Yeah. That's next episode. We're going to talk about victim complexes.
Talk about it. Talk about that final boss.
Talk about
the final
it.
boss. Did the final boss feel appropriately hard?
It's very cool. I think if I had a different build, it would have been easy, but he was strong against all the things that I was good at. So it took me several tries. I built my entire character around fire and faith. And those were two of his strong faith damage actually heals the final boss instead of hurting him. So yeah, I was in a bit of trouble. But we made it. We got there.
Fire and Faith, dude. Great album.
Yeah. It's my favorite Dragon Force album.
Great album. Dude, thank you. I couldn't think of the name. So far away. That's them, right?
This unintentionally turned into like an incredibly boring intro because of how long we had to spend on it because of one of the three of us waxing poetic in their hatred for me. So this turned from 90 seconds to about a 4-minute intro about Elden
People love
Ring.
it. People love it. Listen, the movie we're talking about, the guy goes so fast, it's okay to slow down every once in a while.
Hey, that's good. Let's stop and smell the Erd tree leaves. We are continuing our Video James series with movies voted on by you, our dear listeners. And this week's episode is about the second place movie. We're out of order because we're waiting to be able to view Uncharted from our living rooms. So this is about the second place voted movie by all of you. And that movie is, of course, known as Sonic the Hedgehog.
The universe's ring travelers.
Mm-hmm. I need a synopsis because I have to start talking about this.
This week's IMDb synopsis has no author, which of course means that, like in the tales of old, this synopsis has sprung fully formed from the head of Zeus to provide light and wisdom and guidance to those of us on the mortal plane.
We'll be the judge of that.
After discovering a small, blue, fast hedgehog, a small town police officer must help him defeat an evil genius who wants to do experiments on him.
Mm-hmm. Is that it?
Yep.
Oh, I actually love that. That's
pretty good. That's pretty good.
Can I say something?
You may say it.
I loved this movie.
Yeah, this was so much fun.
I was expecting to like it. I had heard enough good buzz through the old grapevine.
Yeah.
That I was expecting to like it. I really liked it.
As so often happens when we kind of either it's voted upon or we just put together a series, there's like some connective tissue.
Sure.
Or just ways to compare and contrast that was never expected. And I love that about our podcast, about that massive library. For this specifically, to come after Super Mario Brothers and to come after Prince of Persia, I was starting to get some clarity on, because I think we don't quite know yet what makes a good video game movie.
Right.
At least culturally, movie makers don't really know what makes a good video game movie.
Mm-hmm.
And here, my favorite things about Sonic, which I'm going to, I'm not going to super pump it. It's a pump for sure, is like, no, you don't have to go in depth and tell us how he was created.
Yep. Just let it exist.
What are his motivations? Why does he know pop culture? Why, like, it doesn't matter. It felt very Ninja Turtles, like when they brought Ninja Turtles to the real world.
Yes, absolutely.
It was like, nobody cares, dude. And this is very clearly, with video game movies, especially with a character like Sonic, it's obviously different for Geralt of Rivia, right? But for Sonic, it's for kids. Like, this feels like kids come, parents enjoy. Anything that, Pixar would try and do, anything Illumination would try and do, that's the vibe we had here. And it was a great combo. Yes. I really, really enjoyed it.
I would say that was my thought watching this. I do not have children. This feels like the perfect kids movie to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this is bright and colorful and fast and funny enough for kids to be real into it. And me as a grown adult, cynical man, weary of the world at large, it was fun and enjoyable. I really, really enjoyed this.
Yeah. Yeah, look, it's interesting. What's your experience, the two of you, with Sonic games?
That was my beginning. That was
Yeah, I would say extensive.
Very
Extensive
much.
for me. Yeah.
Yeah, the early games specifically. So like the 2D side-scrolling Sonics, and then Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2, I wore out.
More Sonic 2 than Sonic the Hedgehog for me.
More
Yeah.
Sonic Adventure 2 for me. Oh wait, Adventure 2 or like the OG Sonic 2?
OG Sonic 2 more than Sonic 1.
I think the same for me.
Sonic Adventure 2, maybe most of all, close second would be Sonic Heroes.
Yeah, I have this vivid memory. I might have shared it on the podcast before. I don't know. I know that you two have definitely heard this story before, but I have this vivid memory of getting a GameCube for Christmas with Sonic Adventure 2 and Star Fox Adventures. Those are the two games that I received with my GameCube. And Sonic Adventure 2, I vividly remember Christmas morning popping it into the GameCube, and my dad and uncle were like watching it boot up. And it's the scene at the beginning
City Escape,
of
right?
City Escape. And it's the scene where Sonic is
I
like-
did listen to that this morning,
Did
by
you?
the way.
I love
getting
that.
ready for the podcast.
It's the scene at the very beginning where there's the helicopter and they're like, oh no, he's escaping. And then Sonic's like, no way, dude, I'm getting out of here. And then snowboards off of the helicopter.
Yep.
And I vividly remember my dad and uncle going, wow, there's no way video games will ever look better than this.
Yeah, dude.
Go back and watch that cutscene. It's funny to think that, but at the time it was like mind blowing.
Mhm.
And yeah, man, I wore that game out. I beat that game front to back many, many times.
It still feels like a whole generation of video games, like multiple generations of video games, except for maybe the more recent, that you jump straight in. Like it's like we don't really need any character. Like the reason nobody asks about what are Goombas, why is he eating mushrooms? Is he ever plumbing? And also like there's just natural loop-de-loops that grow around these green hills. Like nobody asks because we're just playing the game. We just jump straight in. And there is something fun about the ignorance of not necessarily having a story, of like having too much of a backstory.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah, Sonic for me, like I remember like maybe it was a little bit like therapeutic before I knew it was, but just every now and then I would just find, when Sonic could just jump on those massive like springs and just kind of just sit there and jump for a while. Just kind of jump up and down. Like nothing to do. There's not really anybody coming after me. I'm just jumping. I'm just loving that. But yeah, I love Sega Genesis was my first. So like there was some nostalgia in this movie I didn't realize I had. Like hearing the sound. They wait for a while to give us the actual sound of when he picks up a ring.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So when we did that, I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like just right back to my blow up green oversized chair that I was sitting in that was clear,
Yep.
to where the air would run out of it slowly to the point to where I realized I'm just being eaten by this chair sitting directly on the ground.
It's a good time to sit in that chair in the summer, right? When you just stick to it.
It's you got to pick. Are you going to wear shorts or are you going to be comfortable on that chair? Those are your two options for sure. No, man, that's fun. And I think coming into a movie like this with some history with the characters, much like Mario, Prince of Persia, less so for me. I don't think we even talked about it because I kind of forgot that it was a video game movie because I don't have any Prince of Persia experience with the games. I played Sands of Time for like a minute, I believe. Not my fave, but coming into a movie like this, it creates these expectations that I think something this movie does really well is it immediately kind of lets you know, like, just go ahead and get rid of all of those because this really isn't anything like the games, but it's going to have the same flavor.
It isn't, but it is.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got the same flavor of the games. It's just a completely different medium with its own set of rules. And it pretty quickly establishes that that's going to be fine. And I'm going to give large part of the credit to that to what I'm going to say is an inspired casting decision. Ben Schwartz.
Yes.
Is an amazing Sonic the
Oh my
Hedgehog.
goodness. Ben Schwartz is so good in this role.
His voice is Sonic the Hedgehog. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he Matthew Lillard's his way into the Sonic franchise.
Into being Sonic now? Yeah, maybe.
That'd be
I don't know.
Good for him.
What's Jaleel White doing now, though? Jaleel White's not got much going on.
Oh, he was Sonic for a while, wasn't he?
Jaleel White was Sonic for a long time. Yeah.
I forgot about
I think
that.
as much as like Schwartz was a great Sonic, it's just kind of being like, it feels like the older, like not our most recent iterations of Batman movies, but like the older ones to where he just needs to be a canvas for the villain. Because it was like, Sonic doesn't have to really be layered either. It took me a little bit to come around on Schwartz, but then I was like, well, this is just, I forgot that someone was voice casting him. I thought Sonic was just in this movie.
Right, yeah, it's just Sonic from the games.
Yeah. So he's doing great. And because he doesn't have to just be wild, right? He's not doing accents or anything like that.
And there's a lot to talk about with Jim Carrey too, but while we're on the character of Sonic, I think it's important to talk about what this movie went through to become what it is. Because this is...
After we watched this, or after I watched this last night, I did watch the original trailer with the dark Sonic beast in it. It is shockingly terrible. I was reading an interview where they said we expected, for those of you who don't know.
Let's go through this a little bit.
Sure. They released a trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog, which featured a very different, very off-putting design for Sonic.
Like a person.
It looked like a small blue person. And they were like, we tried to make him have more realistic proportions to like an Olympic runner. It's like, well, he's a hedgehog. Nobody wants that. We already know what Sonic looks like, and it's not this. And so there was intense backlash from both the Sonic fan community and just people with eyes. And so the movie was pushed. It was going to release on around Christmas time, 2019. It was pushed to Valentine's weekend the following year, 2020. So the studio could go back and completely redo every single shot with Sonic in it with a new design. That looks way better.
Way better.
Looks so
like
good.
This Sonic.
Yeah.
I'm surprised about the turnaround. Feels like it didn't take very long.
Right.
I think there's somebody on the team that was like, told you,
backup Sonic.
And they just already had it.
Yeah.
They already had it. Like,
I think that this sets an interesting precedent that I both like and dislike. And here's why. When used properly, the willingness of a studio to set aside what they thought was going to be good for what they realize is actually going to be good is actually really admirable. Like really admirable.
Totally.
Kind of to the point where I am shocked that it happened.
They expected a measure of backlash, according to interviews. They were like, we thought it would be like the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles movies, where people who were fans of these characters said, these look awful. This does not look like the characters that I remember, that I want to watch in a movie. But the general public said, I don't really care what they look like. So the Michael Bay Ninja Turtle movies, they can just look like kind of green lumps, and that's fine. But this was almost universal. There was not really anybody who said Sonic looks good.
Yeah. The bad side of it is I've had enough bad takes in my life to know that fans often have bad takes and early bad takes, like before they really give something a chance. So I would hate to see studios miss out on good stuff because a loud group of people don't like it.
Sure.
But in this case, man, it's really for the better here.
I think it really has to be case by case because the fan reaction, like if another studio had caved to that, we wouldn't have gotten Heath Ledger's Joker.
Right.
I was thinking the same thing.
Right.
Yeah. They're
exactly.
Like, womp womp. Why, what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
To our crown prince.
Which makes me think that they knew, like you're saying, they knew somewhere deep down, they knew that this was a bad design.
I mean,
it was horrible.
And it was an absolute game changer because the things that we're talking about at the very beginning of this podcast that we loved about this movie don't happen.
Right.
If we don't just allow Sonic to look like Sonic.
Right.
So there definitely was, it took them multiple tries to get there, to get to what went well. And so I think that's why I was a little bit, this was the first time for any of us to see Sonic. And for me, it was the apathy of just assuming it still wasn't going to be very good, like putting lipstick on a pig kind of situation.
Yeah.
But I think part of why I was so surprised was like, oh, that feels like the only thing they got wrong was how Sonic looked. Everything else that they had put together did well. And so, this movie made about like 4 times the amount of what it cost to make the movie.
Is that including fixes? Like, are they including fixing Sonic in that budget?
I have no idea. Yeah.
Sonic Movie Redux DX2. Yeah.
So, but I can tell you right now that Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which released very recently, is going to do much better. And it's because it's coming in with the already good energy.
Yes.
I really would love to go see Sonic 2
I would
in
too.
theaters.
And here's something that I felt very strongly watching Sonic the Hedgehog, which again, I really enjoyed. I loved pretty much every second of it. I also feel like what it ultimately is a really, really great proof of concept that this character works.
Yeah.
And then I'm hoping Sonic 2 makes it like a good movie. Does that make sense? Like this movie feels like
Idris Elba is Knuckles.
Yeah.
In Sonic 2.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe that makes it a good movie.
That's pretty great. That's a pretty great idea. I guess as I watched it, it's so short, so to the point. The final conflict is so quick.
Yeah.
Like the final act is so fast, and the actual fight is so on such a minor scale that I just found myself being like, okay, I hope this goes full blown Sonic adventure, crazy scale eventually.
Sure. Well,
Sure.
I mean,
Sure it will.
I don't want to ruin Sonic 2 for anybody, but the crux of Sonic 2 is the Chaos Emeralds.
Yeah.
So we're getting wild with it. May I super dump?
Yeah.
I liked a whole lot of this movie. The thing that never worked for me was James Marsden.
Oh, really?
I think this is the easiest paycheck James Marsden has ever made in his life because it did not really seem like he was trying. I think he was pretty bad in this. And I don't know, maybe that's the script because every time that Jim Carrey tried to be funny, I laughed and thought it was funny. Every time that Sonic had something funny to say, I thought that it was funny. And every time that James Marsden had something funny to say, it was the worst thing I've ever heard. The Olive Garden joke early on is one of the worst things I've ever seen. Olive Garden, because when you're there, your family, they finish that over the phone.
I laughed out loud at that.
But I was really out on that. But then the come around at the end, when we bring that full circle and they receive a $50 Olive Garden gift card from Uncle Sam.
From the government for their silence.
Amazing.
That is so funny. So I don't know. Maybe it's the script, but there are times when James Marsden's character tries to be funny that completely fall flat for me. There's kind of a self-aware streak running through this movie that felt like the writers watched Deadpool. We're like, let's make Deadpool jokes for kids. For the human characters in the beginning of this movie, it kind of goes away about halfway through. So that's my most like kind of convoluted, technical, pedantic super dump because I ultimately didn't dislike much of this. There were just things that I was like, that's definitely
James Marsden weirdly worked for me. And I say weirdly just in reflection of your super dump. I found him to be charming and fun and like.
Did he seem replaceable? Did he seem like he was doing something that somebody else could do?
Those roles are always replaceable. Yeah. That feels like, like Alec Baldwin in Beetlejuice, if y'all have seen that.
Sure.
It's just like, there's this really wild character that's chaotic, evil, kind of. And then there's a couple good things going on here. You just kind of need to be here and be just bland.
Yeah. He's playing the straight man character versus Sonic's wild boy. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's why it was fine for me. Like I wasn't really expecting too much out of him. My super dump is, I don't know if he, I don't think his character needed to be in a relationship. I don't think there were any themes there that I caught, and it could be that I just wasn't paying as much attention to it because everything else was just so colorful and fun. But Tika Sumpter did a great job, like as Maddie, and I think that was fine. But I don't think Tom needed a Maddie. I don't think we needed to have, maybe outside of like her taking care of him while he's about to go to San Fran and be a cop.
Yeah.
But it just kind of felt unnecessary. She doesn't help too much, I don't think, in the end in terms of resolving the crisis. I just don't feel like if we're going to have her there, I would give her more agency in some way outside of her being a vet, and maybe she can work on an alien that's kind of an animal. I don't know. It just kind of felt strange.
It's so funny. Just hearing you say that, like, this all plays into what I'm talking about. Of like, this movie feels like a proof of concept to me, where it's like, I'm hoping that next movie they maybe dive a little bit into like Sonic is essentially their surrogate child, which it seems like the end of this movie is pointing to.
Oh yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I like that they're together because it's kind of funny to watch two people try and co-parent a space hedgehog.
Yeah.
And so I think that's really fun. I liked that she was a vet and could at least give it a shot to fix him. And I know you're not saying that you didn't like that she was in the movie. It just seemed like maybe let's do more with her. And I hear that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with both of your super dumps. And I think it speaks to the fact that this movie is it perfectly jumped this hurdle to where it's like, I mean, it did a pretty good job. So what are you going to say bad about it? I mean, it's not great. It's not a perfect movie, but I mean, they did a good Sonic movie.
It's not amazing.
Yeah. I'll join in super dump.
Sonic is great.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not about the people, so they don't have to be good.
Yeah. I'm gonna super dump. I'll join you guys. And
let's dump together.
Yeah, let's all dump together. Let's do a triple dump. My super dump is, and it sounds like maybe Doja, it lines up, it crosses paths with yours a smidge. I understand that this is a movie for kids, and I think that's great. I think this is a very enjoyable kids movie. Something that Pixar does well is they manage to make kids laugh with jokes that feel earned, that adults can also laugh at because they're well written. This movie really, really swung for the low-hanging fruit of child engagement several times in ways that like didn't work for me. Like it felt like a lot of the quote unquote jokes were just like, let's be loud. A lot of the jokes were, let's have Sonic floss like Fortnite.
I liked that. I was like, of course, Sonic flosses.
I didn't like that. That felt like it was just like, see, kids, he likes Fortnite. And then the fart joke, check your fur thing. It's the first time I haven't laughed at a fart joke in a movie because it was just.
Are you okay?
I know. It felt unearned, like it felt out of place. Like that was not their relationship prior to that room. And it felt more like James Marsden, was it Tom? It felt more like Tom should have been like, that's nasty, dude. Maybe don't fart in front of me. And instead it was like, now we're best friends who fart in front of each other. So all that to say, that is my super dump, is sort of the low-hanging fruit of child engagement and laughter.
If that's what you hated, maybe you should say it's the low-hanging toot.
Nice.
Got 'em.
When this movie is funny, though, it's super, super funny.
Yep.
Yeah. Your super dump to me is just a sign that you're almost 30.
Yeah,
like
maybe.
I'm sitting here at 33 and I'm like, I'm officially disconnected from knowing if it does work for kids. Like because I found myself being like, are there kids laughing at this? Like, is this funny to kids, right? And I have no idea. I think I'm
not saying it won't work for kids. I'm just saying there's better jokes that also work for kids is my complaint.
Right. But it's like, I don't know. I'm saying for me personally, because I thought the same thing, that there's better jokes. Right. I'm like, do I even know that though?
Yeah, well, no, that's a good point. Yeah.
I don't think I know what the better jokes are for kids.
Maybe Sonic flossed. In my head, I have this visual of Sonic flosses and the entire movie theater of 10-year-olds stands up and flosses all at the same time with Sonic because it's like a Pavlovian response for them when they see it. They just do it. And it made me want to run out of the theater. That I wasn't even in because I was in my living room. But yeah, I think Jim Carrey is hysterical in this. Jim Carrey is somebody that
we can't talk about Jim Carrey yet because then I'll have nothing to say for the rest of this podcast.
Sure. I'm just saying for Jordan, I can take him or leave him, Jim Carrey, most of the time. It's like when he's in the right role, he's great. When he's not, he could be anybody. This is the right role. And that's all I will say because it is in fact time for shout announcements. It's shout announcements, the time where we give shout outs and make announcements. And it's the theme song that we always sing for this part of the show.
Yeah.
So I do want to point out that one of your criticisms of Sonic was that sometimes it goes for the low-hanging fruit and it's like, instead of being funny, we'll just be loud. And I do think that's our podcast a little bit too sometimes.
Whoa.
That wasn't even half of my power, Doge.
Whoa.
If you want to hear Jordan at his full power, you're going to have to...
You have to unlock it.
You're going to have to support us on Patreon. We have a new bonus episode coming out that's a part of this series that we have been talking about behind the scenes, and we are very excited for. We think it's going to be a very fun time, and we can promise, I mean, if you're used to 50% of Jordan's power, 30% of Jordan's power, we're going to analyze it like Dr. Eggman and find that the power potential is unlimited.
I'll give you the full 70. I'll give you the full 70.
Jordan will give us the full 70.
It caps
on
there.
Patreon.
It didn't want to just destroy the power grid, so we'll just do the 70%. Speaking of power, a different kind of power, we're going to be reviewing another furry little rodent next week. with Detective Pikachu. Very excited. Another movie that none of us have seen, which is pretty crazy. That's the 4th out of 5 in our video game series. Now, Detective Pikachu was technically the number 1 voted upon movie. We're waiting for Uncharted, which would have been this week's episode, but we moved it around to the end of our series for the sake of all of us being able to watch that, including you being able to watch that to stream, because it'll come to stream, I think, on the 26th of April.
Sounds right.
So pumped for that, but pumped to have some time with Ryan Reynolds as Detective Pikachu.
The titular Detective Pikachu. The other thing we're excited about, as Doge mentioned, over on Patreon, we got those special bonus eps. Got a fun one cooking for you for this series, a little different. But the thing that's not different is consistency. Consistency is inherently undifferent because it's the same always. And the consistent thing you can expect from our Patreon is twofold. At our lowest tier, you get a bonus episode every series that we do, mostly, and a bonus vote in any polls that we put on social media. So that means that for the Video James series, if you were a patron, you could have voted twice. You could have changed the game. Literally.
You could have made Pac-Man move on to the next round.
I will say we didn't open up the extra special votes. We opened those up for the championship.
Yeah, those will be for the championship. You don't get
those
double
for the
votes
championship.
every round of the poll. Relax.
You don't get double votes every round of the poll. This is our podcast.
Relax. But then our second tier for $5 a month on Patreon gets you access to our Chunkies only Discord server where we're talking movies, we're talking video games, we're talking Wordle, we're talking Moon Knight, we're talking box office ball.
Lately, it's just mostly been people who want to come onto our server and criticize the decisions we make on this podcast, which is fine. They still have to pay to be on there.
I like it.
Me too.
Because when someone says, wah, 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 I wish it was different, I just experience my own power to such a great degree. It truly grows my head 3 sizes, much like the Grinch's heart.
75%.
Yes, about 75%.
Grinch. Yes.
The Grinch. He's my favorite green musical artist. Grinch.
Grinch.
So check it out, Patreon. Anyway, here's some other ads.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
We're back, and I'm gonna super pump on them right now. They don't even know what I'm gonna say I loved about this movie. My super pump is the scene where Jim Carrey's assistant, Dr. Stone, brings him a latte. That was so funny to me.
You know I like the way you make them.
Yes, that's so funny.
Yeah. Of course I want to
kind of Mugatu a little bit.
Yes, very much.
Wow, great pull. Yes, of
wow,
course.
Very much.
Yes. No, that was awesome. I mean, that's, to me, in microcosm, that is what Jim Carrey does in macrocosm in this movie, is be unpredictable, which is so fun to watch.
You know, it's fun talking about, you would think with a video game series, maybe not with Prince of Persia, but especially with Mario, like things would be geared towards kids most of the time. And that's why the attempts are a little bit all over the place, because we also have like Street Fighter with Jean-Claude Van Damme and Mortal Kombat that was just claymation gore. It was just bizarre. But then to have this and think about like the 10-year-olds and the 12 and 13-year-olds that are seeing Sonic in theaters, I was so happy that they got a version of Jim Carrey I did at that age.
Right.
Yes.
Honestly.
Yes.
I think that was the most special thing about it. And that's my super pump, is that not only is my super pump Jim Carrey, it's like this is peak Jim Carrey.
This is the carriest. Yeah.
Yeah. Who is both incredibly over the top, but his top is a different height. You know what I'm saying? Like Jim Carrey is over the top, but it's a different kind of top, because it's not like no one's like, oh, here he goes again. Like this scene where he's dancing,
That leads up to the latte scene where his assistant scares
That
him.
leads up to the latte scene.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just all. I mean, it's borderline brilliant. Like he's adding things all the time. Like when he makes the comment about optical illusions, he's like, most of this is ad lib. Like most of the trivia about this movie is that this is typical Jim Carrey approach. And it's not just because he didn't ask to. It's like people just saying like, hey, I think to get him, we need to just let him do what he wants, which is kind of the Robin Williams vibe, what that was, the Jack Nicholson vibe. It's like, just go ahead and do what you do because that's going to be what sells tickets. And honestly, that was my biggest fear I realized going into this. Was I about to see him just washed up?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's different than the Riddler, right? Because I think he had the same vibe for Batman Forever. Was like, just go out there and do what you want. And he did the best with what he had. But this just felt like it had a little bit more agency, which is hilarious.
The unsanctioned buffoonery really played in his favor.
Yeah. If you told me late 90s, you're like, I know that this is a little bit disappointing, which by the way, Carter wasn't disappointed in the late 90s with Batman Forever.
Right.
But it's like, hey, I think he'll redeem himself. He's going to be Dr. Robotnik. What?
Are you kidding me?
Okay. But it worked. And I think it was great.
Yes.
I really, really enjoyed him. He was the best part of the movie to me.
You know what's
He just
funny?
ate up the
I've played a lot of Sonic and I never really understood why he was ever referred to as Dr. Eggman.
Mm.
And I don't know if that's the in-game reason that his robots kind of look like eggs.
He kind of was shaped like an egg. wasn't he?
Yeah.
Sonic started calling him that as an insult
Yeah, right.
in the games.
Yeah.
And also in the movie. So yeah.
And so I just liked being given a reason that he would be called that. I also like, just while we're talking about like fun video gamey moments in this movie with the Eggman reference, I really loved that we got some chili dogs. It felt like we had to.
Yep.
I loved how he got his shoes. I absolutely loved
That's
how he
very
got his
sweet.
shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
It seems like there's
And it was
socks
a moment
built
that I
in,
was
which is
like-
weird.
No,
Yeah.
he had socks on.
They were short
There
socks.
was a
They got
moment
rid
where
of
I
them.
I wasn't looking for them either, which was funny.
Mhm.
It was just a nice little jewel there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
No, go ahead, please.
with Robotnik at the end just getting electro blasted and having the ridiculous mustache, like that's fine. Like for him to kind
Completely.
of look like the actual iteration
Yes.
of Robotnik was, I don't care.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Fine,
Like
yeah.
it just works.
I love that he has the crazy mustache and that he just randomly shaves his head with mud. I love it.
yeah.
It's
Sure.
great.
Why not?
Yeah. I mean, it was very Predator.
Yes.
It was really funny.
It was.
Jim Carrey has said that he's retiring from acting. I don't know if you guys saw that. He says that he's done.
But he also
he's-
said that he has plans for what he wants to do in Sonic 3. So
yeah, who knows?
knows?
He's acted his last scene apparently, and it was as Dr. Eggman in Sonic 2.
fine.
That's amazing.
I'm gonna super pump, and it feels a little vulnerable because if you guys don't agree, I'm gonna feel very on an island, and that's okay. But I think you'll agree. I want you to agree because I loved it so much. My super pump is that Sonic is really cool.
Yes, absolutely.
His fighting and powers are awesome.
I had to do a check-in with myself because at the very end, when Sonic stands up and there's all the electricity going through his fur and his eyes are blue, I was like, got chills. I was like, oh my gosh,
Funny.
this is so cool.
I know. I felt the exact same way. I had to be like, is this actually cool? Yes, it is.
Is this cool? Is this cool, or did I think it was cool when I was 7?
Right.
And I can't tell.
I still kind of can't
His
tell.
final move.
But it works for me. I love that his fighting Eggman's machine at the end looked like fighting in the game where you just sort of like ball
Yeah.
up and smack it a bunch of times. I think that's very fun. I really, really loved the blue electricity.
Yeah.
It looked
I
great.
don't have
Looked
anything bad
awesome.
to say about it. It looked so sick. It was cool. First of all, I loved the scene where he played baseball with himself. It was weirdly melancholy and sad and really well done, but also funny. But I'm going to specifically talk about the bar scene where he goes supersonic speed and
For the
We
first
can't say supersonic. where he travels supersonically, because supersonic is, I assume we're saving that for Sonic 2.
Yeah, he's going to go actual supersonic at some point and fly. But
Dude, I will lose my mind
If Shadow-
if in Sonic 2 he goes supersonic.
yeah, of course. I'll lose my mind if Shadow the Hedgehog ever makes an appearance.
Yep.
Ooh.
That would make me very happy.
Do you guys want to go see Sonic 2 together?
A little bit I do, yeah, actually.
We should go see Sonic 2 very soon.
And I'll tell you, so I'm going to continue talking about the bar scene, but first, Callie, we started the movie and she goes, I'm going to be honest, this is the least interested I've been in one of the Two Chunks movies in a long time. And I was like, you're going to watch it though, right? She's like, yeah, I watch all of them. She loved it.
Good.
It's
good.
I mean, yeah, so I think she'd be very down for Sonic 2. She loved it. It was great. The bar scene is
she's not invited. Ooh.
Yeah,
this is for it's Pot Boys only.
Yikes. My
Boys
fault.
boys night out.
I made an assumption.
Boys night out. We're going to see Sonic 2.
Go see Sonic 2 with my homies. The bar scene is the Quicksilver scene from X-Men done just as well, I think. It's
Or is it better?
It might be better. It might be better.
Like this scene too, and I'm not going to try and take over your specific scene here, but it feels like we reviewed a movie that came out this year, very recently, that was trying to do otherworldly like movement. This is infinitely better than Morbius,
Sure.
which had a bigger budget.
Yeah.
But yeah, keep going.
Well, it all boils down to these scenes are only as cool as the aftermath of them, like these like stop time do stuff scenes.
Sure.
Are
When the
only-
Rube Goldberg all happens at once.
Yes.
That's how you tell if it's cool.
And that scene when everything just sort of stops because he has won the room. He beat them so good that it's over. That scene was really, really cool. But the stuff he does is so great. Just the running on the walls, the moving Tom out of the way and throwing a beer into his hand and knocking people down, tying them to chandeliers, giving them wedgies. It's so Sonic, like personality wise, but also visually really cool.
Very, very cool. Very, very cool.
And that between that and the blue electricity and how fast he is and the way I was wondering, I was like, are they going to make him roll into a ball? He has to. And then he does it to beat that tank. The timing. The pacing of the tank turning into the ATV, turning into the unicycle, turning into the flying thing was very funny. I don't know, man. The action worked for me. And yeah, my super pump is just Sonic is cool. Like really cool.
The inversion of that time stop thing at the very end.
Yeah.
That was the moment that I was like, I think this is cooler than Quicksilver in X-Men. Whenever Sonic stops, whenever he's moving so quickly that the missiles appear to stop, and then Jim Carrey's Dr. Robotnik speeds up to Sonic speed, and they fight while the world is stopped around them.
Yep.
That's very, very cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also the jumping through worlds, running on the Great Wall of China.
Yeah, totally fine.
It's so
great.
cool.
One of the goofs on IMDb is that there is a Pizza Hut only 1,000 feet from the Great Pyramid of Giza, which is not present in this movie. There's like a ton of civilization and roads and all that stuff around the pyramids.
Is there a Pizza
Which is
Hut
awful,
that
but-
close to the Great? That's funny.
Like you can look out
I've
the
heard
window
that
of the Pizza
Stonehenge
Hut.
feels that way too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
That's
from one
bizarre
angle,
to
it's
me.
beautiful, and then you turn around, and it's like Subway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Jordan, when you're talking about timing, I think that's something that I think was done so well that it's really underrated. But the reveals, like when you're thinking, well, surely he's gonna roll up into a ball, right? Somebody who was on this team played a lot of Sonic.
Yeah.
At least one person who had a lot of power in making this movie.
Probably Ben Schwartz has played a lot of Sonic too, is my guess.
Right? Well, and Jim Carrey, part of the reason he accepted the role was because his daughter grew up playing Sonic and loved
Fun.
Sonic. And so there's a lot of people in there that cared about the experience,
love
which
that.
could be a whole nother research article or podcast in itself to talk about, like, what does caring do for good
That's
movies?
a good point. man.
A lot. But yeah, with all the timing and everything, the red shoe reveal, all of that was just really done thoughtfully. And we didn't show all of our cards, even though we got a post-credit Tails scene. Those that love Sonic as much to love this movie know there's a lot out there. I had even forgot about Shadow. Shadow was kind of, once I was older.
I'll
Shadow
never
got
forget about
introduced.
Shadow.
I know
Shadow was the
Knuckles.
first video game that cussed. I had never heard a video game character cuss until Sonic Adventure 2.
Yep.
What did he say?
Damn.
Oh, wow.
I know. I was like,
That's a big
wow.
deal. That's like the MPAA. They don't even count that as a
I
cuss
know.
word anymore, basically.
It'd still be rated E.
You could say that on American Idol.
You can't.
The mile. Okay, so Tails. We know Tails' name is miles per hour, right?
Yeah, miles per hour.
That's
Yep.
hilarious.
I love that.
Boys, that Tails reveal.
Hyped you up
I'm
good.
Oh my, it was like a Marvel post-credit scene. I was like, they're not going to do it. They're going to do it?
Oh man.
And they know too, it's like we just see one tail because we're getting them head on.
Yep.
But then we show the two and just show Tails flying off. I was like, people know.
And
like that was so
The
fun.
trailer for Sonic 2 shows him flying his prop plane too.
Good.
Mhm.
Yeah, fine. Perfect. Guys, I want to go see Sonic 2
I
so
do too,
bad.
dude. Have you guys watched the trailer for Sonic 2?
I think I watched
don't
maybe
think
the
I
first trailer for it.
At one point in the trailer, Idris talks as Knuckles, and it's that same thing when he's in the office where it's like he's not very good at a non-British accent,
Yeah.
but it's not quite British. And so at one point, Knuckles is like, I think that's gonna be a problem. It's like, what was that?
What?
But I'm very excited
It's
about
like,
it.
He could do like The Wire, and he could do his real voice.
Right.
And those are the two voices he can do.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be awesome, man. I have a lot of faith in Sonic 2.
I do too.
It seems like it's pretty much the same team back again. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's nothing new. Like I don't think that's coming organically. Like that's everyone has.
Yeah,
like
for
critics
sure.
Are
Yeah.
already like,
Oh, yeah.
Sonic is making so much.
we are
money.
late to this party. I'm not making a prediction.
Yeah, sure,
here.
sure.
I think it's very clear that people the majority were correct about Sonic 1. It's awesome. And so
Dude,
Sonic 2,
can
I'm
you
sure will be
believe?
awesome.
I mean, just can you believe the disaster that was averted? Because
I know.
nobody would care about this. Nobody would want Sonic 2 if they didn't redesign him.
Yep. Totally. Imagine I would love to know if they redesigned Tails at the end too, because imagine a weird looking
right?
Sonic with a video game accurate Tails like what we got at the end. How weird that would.
No.
What about the echidnas? The echidnas look like the video. Did they redesign every?
They redesigned everything, probably except for the bird. What's her name? Longclaw?
Yeah.
No, that's Jon Snow's sword.
Yeah, that is.
That wasn't her name.
That's good.
It sounds so similar.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
I'm looking it up right now.
The owl's name is Longclaw. I just looked it up. I also
Great.
looked up Tails' voice actor. Her name is Colleen O'Shaughnessy, and she is not only an actual voice actress, which is rare, exceedingly rare in animated movies
Yeah.
these days to not just hire a big name and have them do a voice. She's an actual
Yeah.
voice actress. She has been voicing Tails since I'm all the way back in 2014 right now, and I'm still going. It seems like they have gotten. Okay, yep. I'm scrolling back. She's done a ton of stuff, but I'm seeing Tails over and over and over
Good.
again here.
Good.
It feels like a great balance
Yes.
because it's like, let's get the actual Tails, let's get a replica of Sonic, and then we can just do whatever we want for Knuckles.
Exactly.
She has done a lot of
Here's our
Tails
A-lister.
and Charmy B in a lot of Sonic games as well.
Hmm.
So this is
How fun is that?
someone who has been around the
Charmy
block.
B. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a name I've not heard in a long time.
Yeah. This
Great
is someone
rap
that has
career.
been around the block with Sonic.
That's awesome, man.
That's great. That's wonderful.
We're all like, man, what a great choice. And then they're like, hey, the real one's pretty cheap, you know? Like that, in my
Yeah,
mind,
for
that's
real.
what the production team is like. Well,
They're like,
shit,
we
costs that much.
could get Michael Cera, or we could get the real Tails for much less money.
Listen, I know that you want Idris to play Knuckles, but we're going to have to make some cuts other places.
I think Idris was originally cast as Tails. They're like, well, now we can get a cheap Tails, so now Idris can move up to Knuckles.
He graduated.
Idris just becomes Robotnik.
Oh man. Yeah, I think eventually we'll get to
I'm the black
What's his
Superman
name?
with a PhD.
Big Cat, right?
Big, yeah, the cat.
Big the
Yep.
Cat. Yeah, I think we'll eventually get to him and Rouge and
Victor, the gator.
yeah, I think we might eventually get to like the full Sonic extended family.
Good. Fine.
The Sonic verse.
Where can I find these? Where can I find these games, by the way? How do I play them?
You don't
now?
have your PlayStation anymore, do you?
No.
Dang.
You might be able to get some of them on Switch.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
Really? Well, that would make sense with the IP kind of sharing with Smash
I feel
Bros.
confident you could get like Sonic Heroes or one
Yeah,
of the 3D
something like
later
that.
3D ones on Switch.
There was a new Sonic game recently, wasn't there?
Sonic Generations. I have it on PS5.
Is it good?
It's a fun one.
Is it really? Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
This is now just talking about Sonic the video game. It is time to rate this movie using the scientific cinema scale, which is perfect and as follows. The best thing we could ever say about a movie is own it, don't lend it, buy that poster. The next best thing?
The one the one I have is Sonic Mania, not Sonic Generations.
Okay.
I lied.
Oh, thank goodness you corrected.
Okay, go.
The next best thing is buy it. That's followed by rent it. And then stream it. And after that is forget it. And last, but certainly least, the worst thing we could ever say about a movie. God hath forsaken us.
I'm gonna go first, and it's gonna be a rent, which is higher than what I thought it would be. I don't think it's gonna be like a retroactive buy if Sonic 2 is good. Yeah. I think I just enjoyed this movie. I was surprised, and it got me up from a forget to a rent because I thought that's what it was going to be. But I do want to say too, I love that the last 5 to 10 minutes was us just talking about Sonic games because I think that's what the movie's supposed to do.
It wants you to do that, yeah. I agree.
We never once talked about Mario games. Memories from Mario games when we did Super Mario Brothers. Did we? No. Because there's no room to have
There's no echoes there.
It was so upside down. Zero echoes. Zero echoes. We talked about de-evolution. What? When has that ever been something in Mario?
That's a very good point.
Yeah, it's a rent for me, and I'm happy to. I'm happy that I actually did pay $4 on Amazon.
Yeah, it's a rent for me as well. A lot of my hype for this movie is a lot of just exceeded expectations. I came in with pretty low expectations and it really blew those out of the water. But again, this does still, I stand by it, feels like a proof of concept for what I hope is a truly great Sonic 2. But I really loved this. I don't mean to knock it by giving it a rent so much as I just, for what it is, it's fantastic. But what it is a 90-minute proof that they deserve more money for a sequel.
Yeah.
This is a rent for me as well. I think it wins most improved or most different from what I expected it to be.
Largest gulf.
Exactly. Yeah. It did reinvigorate my interest in the Sonic franchise.
100%.
And I know that will last probably a week.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking before we started recording. I'm going to try to buy or play or download Sonic Adventure 2 just because I want to do that first level where escape the city.
Rolling around at the speed of sound.
Which, by the way, I'm sure we've sung that on our podcast
100%
before.
we have.
But I know I would play that for like 30 minutes and be like, I don't want to do this.
That is what I did when I downloaded it. Is I got about 30 minutes and it was like, that was fun. It's fun to remember how much I used to like this.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And maybe that's what I like about this movie. It is fun to remember how much I used to love Sonic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe Sonic 2 will keep scratching that itch for me.
I'm excited. I definitely want to see it.
I have decided that I will, over the course of this conversation, I will go see Sonic 2 as soon as I can.
Yes, as well me also. Well, next week, we will be discussing our first place winner, but 4th out of 5 as far as watch order goes. That movie is Detective Pikachu, where it was cool. They give an underground, unknown star sort of a chance to shine. Ryan Reynolds plays the titular Detective Pikachu.
Can I tell you guys?
First big movie.
Can I tell you guys, I've been out on casting Ryan Reynolds as the voice of Pikachu since the moment that news broke, and none of the trailers for this movie have convinced me otherwise, and I'm expecting to dislike that.
I'm going to say that if people voted it in ahead of Sonic, it's probably pretty good, is my guess.
You listen, I better like it better than Sonic because all the people who listened to our show said he's going to love this one better than Sonic.
Right, yeah. Or at least they said, I love this one better than Sonic. Or maybe it's so bad they wanted us to talk about it. That's the other thing.
I can't imagine that's it.
That sometimes, Super Mario Bros. Made it in.
Right. It's amazing.
Well,
it's not bad at all.
That's a good point.
Archaeology.
But tune in next week to check that out. Our Video James series presses on. To end today's episode, I'd like for each of us to say our name.
Real quick, though, our video game series presses on.
Yeah.
Did you
I didn't, but I love that.
It's hard to play a game if you don't press on first.
You gotta press on
first.
That's the
That's
number
what
one thing.
people say. They don't realize that. Sometimes it's a switch rather than a press.
Well, I have a Switch. I have a PlayStation 5 too. So it, could be either one.
I was thinking more like a GBA, like a Game Boy Advance Switch. The when it turns on. I'd like for each of us to say our name and what the name of a Sonic level made after our neighborhood would be called. For 2 Chunks and a Hunk, my name is Jordan Wonders. And the Sonic level named after my neighborhood would be Suburban Bahamas. Because we're pretty close to a lake and there's a Bahama Bucks right outside my neighborhood. So Sonic would just be running on top of the water of the lake and then smash through a Bahama Bucks, and he would have 2 snow cones in his hand and he'd be like, whoa, hey Tails, and like hand Tails up one who's flying overhead.
Hey Tails, here's a snow cone for you.
And then he'd slurp down that snow cone and then jump off into space. If it's Sonic Adventure 2, he would grind on a rail for about 12 minutes before he did any of that.
I love it.
I'm Doge, and when Sonic and all his fast pals come running through my neighborhood, it's called Foundation Troubles Freeway because our dirt is bad and foundations are horrible where I live. Doors stick, windows stick, walls crack.
I'm Carter, and the stage named after my neighborhood would be Cliff Drop. I'm in Oak Cliff, but it would be a level that starts. There's several like this, especially in the old side scrollers, where he just starts by kind of just dropping, and you're getting all the momentum to like launch right back up off of this ramp, and you would just kind of see the Dallas skyline in the background.
Yep.
It's a night level for sure.
All 3 would legally have to be ska music, I think.
Yeah. More like Skonic.
Skonic. Skonic. Uh-oh. I love that too much.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
The new Macy's Backstage opens Saturday inside Macy's Easton Town Center. Here's the deal. Our name says Macy's, but Macy's Backstage has totally different finds at incredibly low prices. Think the latest looks, home decor, toys, and more, all for less. Plus, Star Rewards members earn on every purchase except gift cards, services, and fees. So join us Saturday, April 23rd inside Macy's Easton Town Center at the new Macy's Backstage. Off price, on trend, arriving daily. More at macy'sbackstage.com.